Hi there, Dolphin Doug here. I'm going to talk about the weather in Alaska. I've done a couple of videos on this, and it seems that people seem to find my channel when they look up that subject. So I'm standing out one of the last days in December. 4 days ago, I came out to the same lake that's behind me, and I hiked out to the Mendenhall Glacier that you can see out there. It had been well below freezing for weeks on end. It had been below zero for a while. There was no snow on the lake, so the ice was rock solid. I hiked out there, I touched the glacier, had a wonderful time. Now, I think it's 4 days later, it's 34 degrees. I'm standing beside an open flowing creek. Nugget Falls out here is wide open water. And the glacier's still there, and you can still see people walking across the ice. It's a beautiful day. I can't fault them, but I choose not to go out there. Now, so whatever time of year you come up here, the weather's going to be variable. It can be pouring down rain. It can be 60-mile-an-hour winds, even in the middle of the summer. It could be sleet, even in the summer. Don't see that very often in July if you want the best weather. But if I were to hike across the ice to go visit the glacier, and honestly, I don't think those people are fools. I think there is plenty of ice in there. It's a strange thing to think about, that you have this ice-cold lake, and then you have ice-cold water above the ice, and the ice inside takes such a long time to melt that you can probably hike out here pretty safely for probably the next week. That doesn't mean I'm recommending anybody does that. And if I were to go, since I wasn't born and raised in this environment, and I'm very leery, I've also done videos on how to test to see if the ice is solid and safe. Well, this is something. It is just past the Christmas season. But if you live in Alaska, or if you have friends that live in Alaska, or if you have kids that live in Alaska, it's really, or even if you're up there in Buffalo where they've just gotten several feet of snow, they're going to have ice around, and kids have a hard time not walking out on it. Just last couple of days, they've been sledding down this hill. They were sledding right over this creek. There was water in this creek when they were sledding over it. I doubt they broke through the ice. They might have. But it's not a big deal because the creek is only about 3 inches deep. But out on the lake, all it needs to be is 6 feet deep, and you're going to be in real trouble. And it's deeper than that. This is an ice screw. They cost maybe as much as 40 bucks. This is a 10-inch long ice screw. So if I drill it through, I can make a hole right through the ice. It's a pretty neat device. If I pull it out and the tip is dry, I know that I've got 10 inches of water underneath me. I've been going around with a 6-inch ice screw because a 6-inch ice screw, if I don't get water underneath of me and I've got 6 inches of ice, I'm not afraid at all of walking on that ice. 4 inches of ice underneath your feet is almost certainly safe, although it does depend, and close to the glacier, it can be dangerous. So I'm not recommending anything specific to you. However, if you have a kid that might end up wanting to go out on a lake, rather than just saying, don't go out there, which it's very likely they might do anyway, young kids tend to push the edge. If you give them a screw like this and say, go see how thick the ice is, if you want to, you can tie a rope around them when they go out to do it the first time. But if they do it right next to shore, they're not going to get themselves in trouble. And if they've got 6 inches of ice, they go out a little bit farther and do it again, well, then they're going to be a lot safer than just a stupid kid going out there. So, does ice kill people? Yes, it does. Do people with ice screws get killed when they're testing how thick the ice is? Heck no. Because generally, ice doesn't break underneath you unless it's less than 2 inches thick. If you took an ice screw in and it got through the ice after 2 inches, you'd know it. You'd be absolutely nuts to keep going around there and getting yourself in trouble. It's people that push the envelope without knowledge that get themselves in trouble. So if you've got a kid, here's a Christmas present, birthday present. It's a good time of year to give it to them, even though Christmas is past. Because it is wintertime, and what they need to do is make it to get old so that they can be wise. I don't hike out there, even though I could use my ice screw and I could do it for safety. I just get the heebie-jeebies from that water on top of ice. It doesn't mean it's dangerous. That's a crazy concept, and I know for the vast majority of you. Any of you guys that don't mess around with ice, to imagine walking on top of an ice-cold, freezing lake, wading through water, nuts. If you got one of these, it's not quite so nuts. Now, you can also dig a hole with an axe. I've done that as well. It takes you forever. You'll know, and when you're splashing through water, it's not a pleasant environment, but you will know if there's plenty of ice there or not. I don't really mean to beat on this all that far. It's just people do get in trouble with this stuff. And I don't see people giving options other than saying stay off the ice. And to me, I'm Alaskan. There's not anybody out here, there's not a ranger out here that says the ice is safe. I can follow other people if I want to. That doesn't mean it's safe. Sometimes some people need to make the call. Giving them the right tool helps. There you go. Come on up to Alaska. I hope you do it in the summertime. If you do, come out whale watching with me. I can show you how to do that as well. I could even teach you how to whale watch. You still don't want to do that on your own. Not that I'm saying you can't, because you can rent a boat, but you have no idea where to go, and the professional whale watch captains will pick you out in a heartbeat and know exactly that you shouldn't be there. So come on out with us, enjoy the show, and wherever you are, I hope you're warm and dry, and you're enjoying beautiful weather. Ciao.